when I talk like this, don't blame me. I know I'm bad with it. Go against a goat, that's bad business. All the yellow jokes so sad with it. Tamika just a ghost, don't get mad with me. Just, it's a my, gotta get already. Not selling my, you on the, y'all moving, ready to, whoa. I'm the main event, ain't no back before, let's get it. Heartless in the G, yeah. Really get lost, okay with it. Ain't nobody in front of me. 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 You can try to prove me wrong and try to get respect. But who we looking for if there was no one left? Ain't nobody in front of me. 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 Everybody trippy, yeah, we coming, yes, they're back. Yeah, we walking with a body bag full of cash. Cut from a different rap, we raise it like a flag. Unapologetic. We gon' keep running it back, running it back, running it back. Running it back, running it back. And that's we gon' keep running it back, running it back, running it back. Running it back, running it back, running it back. Hey, 10 toes, I'ma never miss. Boy, I'm locked in, never take a loss in the sport.
Episode 2 of The Voice of the Village. I'm back as always with my partner Levi Davis. I am Austin Fisher, of course, the voice of the village, where you don't have to be a Lexington fan, but it sure does help. And partner, we got the Women's World Cup going on tonight. How you feel about the Team USA, the ladies team? How you feeling?
We're feeling pretty good about it. Trying to go three-peat for the country. Let's go. Vietnam tonight. Hopefully a little 10-0 win, something like that. Let's go.
If you had to bet on any player, you think Alex Morgan going to put in a hat trick tonight, or what are we feeling about that?
Alex Morgan's a stud. Maybe Megan Rapinoe, but we'll see about that.
I do like that, you know. And speaking of ladies soccer, we have a couple of Lexington ladies soccer stars with us today. And on the other couch, if you girls want to introduce yourselves, just go down the line, starting right here.
Hi, I'm Addie Boyce.
Hi, I'm McKenna Arnholt. I'm Olivia Stoops.
And we're just going to go through the line and just ask a bunch of questions. So, partner, have at it.
Yeah, let's do this thing. So, welcome, guys. We're glad to have you guys, obviously. Let's start with you, Addie. All Ohio, as some people might know, some people might not, but you guys have been working this offseason. So what's kind of the outlook for this upcoming season?
Well, with our district championship last year, obviously there are some high expectations this year. No one thought we could get there last year, so us winning the district was a really big win for us. You know, definitely feeling the pressure this year. But I think with some of the new players we have, and we have a lot of seniors with, a lot of experience, so I think that this year we can definitely pull it off again.
Yeah, obviously, and your motto last year, guys, was unfinished business. So what's kind of the outlook on that, McKenna or Stutz? Like, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, we have some unfinished business. Obviously, we had a rough start to our year, but we obviously turned it around, so we're hoping to just have a good year this year.
Stutz, what do you got to say about that? Your unfinished business this year.
Well, it was a good outlook for us because obviously we did what we didn't expect to do, so it helped. But
Yeah, that's awesome. But I know me and Austin are looking forward to you guys playing this year. So, yeah. Austin, what do you got to say to us?
Ontario's right around the corner. I know you guys have that
Yeah.
circle in your calendar. That's probably one of the bigger games this season. You guys have the nightcap or whatever now that we are playing in Ontario this year. So the boys play first, then the girls afterwards. Obviously, last time you guys played at Ontario didn't end the way you wanted to, whether it was a lot of ref ball or ball ending up in the back of your own net via your own teammate. Not a lot of fun there. But how are you guys looking to turn it around this year? Because Ontario's still got just as much talent as they've ever had on the ladies' side, starting with Olivia.
We're just going to have to keep pushing. Obviously, it wasn't easy last year to beat them. We went to overtime or whatever. So we're just going to have to push really hard and try to get past the defense.
Kenny, anything to add on to that?
I feel like they're still a very good team, but we've also grown as a team, and we're still figuring out how to work together. And so with our upcoming scrimmages, I think we're going to figure it out.
Right, and as the sweeper defender, Addie, you have definitely the best vision out of anybody on that team. What do you see back there from an attacking standpoint of Ontario that you need to slow down the most?
Well, Ontario definitely has their key players, the players they're looking to play the ball to the most. Most of them pretty young still. They graduated Addie Turnball. She was a big player for them, whether it was on offense or on defense. So I feel like that'll be a loss for them. But even last year they were young. This year they're still going to be pretty young. Us on the other hand, we are pretty senior heavy while they're freshman and sophomore heavy. So I feel like that not with like experience. Experience plays a huge part in it, but I feel like that'll be something that we're gonna have to shut down.
And you talk about being a lot of senior heavy, but you did graduate a couple of very important seniors last year, especially Jocelyn Patterson. Are there any underclassmen that you think are going to be able to step up and, I guess, fill the void that was left behind from the recent graduates?
Yeah, we have freshman Morgan Harrod coming up. Really excited about her. She can play pretty much anywhere we need her to. Again, Zoe Borwick's with us last year. She'll be a huge player in the midfield or up top. She'll go wherever we need her to, so I'm excited for that.
Absolutely. That's a great answer, Brandon.
Yeah, that is. Like you guys were talking about earlier, your district championship. Kind of talk to me about the run you guys had. Obviously beating Ontario in a couple of those games and eventually getting to the regional. So how did that kind of feel from your guys' standpoint? I know we were excited for you guys and everybody else in the community, but Addie, what would you say about that?
Well, going in, our first game was Madison. We beat them in a chippy game in the season. We knew it would be an intense time. And then we go into the overtime and the penalty kicks, so that was an emotional roller coaster from the beginning. We had never played a game that long before, so just us being able to compete until the end really was a huge victory for us. And then Clear Fork tying them earlier in the season and then being able to beat them in regular time, that was crazy, with a crazy goal from Olivia Stutes that no one thought would really, I certainly didn't think that would go in, so that was crazy that even worked. And then we finally got to the Ontario game, and no one was expecting us to win. No one thought that we would do that. And then another game that was pretty long for us, I think just having the endurance and being able to play throughout the season and having depth from the bench really helped us.
Yeah, obviously, and Coach Morton probably had a lot to do with that. Kind of talk to me, McKenna, about his leadership for you guys and his role for you guys' team.
Yeah, he definitely motivates us every single game. He always gives that like pep talk at halftime or even at the beginning, and it really sparked something in us. We just put all our effort we could into those games.
Yeah, that's awesome. Austin, I think Lexington might have two of the best soccer coaches in maybe the state with Buck Morton and Peter Tim.
I still have that image in my head of Pete jumping up on Buck and grabbing him after the district win for the girls, which is definitely exciting. But I mean, both the boys and the girls team making it to regionals last year, that hasn't happened in like over a decade, something crazy like that. It's an impressive feat, but it'd be even more impressive if both teams can go to state. So let me ask you guys this, starting with Olivia. Was there a turning point last season? They say it's never good to lose, but it teaches a lot. Was there a certain loss in the season where you really had to dial in and just focus up and realize that something had to change in your program?
Well, definitely the first game of the season kind of hit a turn on us because like we weren't expecting to like go into it like, oh, we're like gonna win this, but we didn't win, and it kind of like hurt us because Ontario's a rival of ours, obviously. So, but that kind of like we were like, oh, we need to like change things for the rest of the season.
Right. McKenna, was there like, I don't know, you guys had a couple of draw losses during that season. I remember just a bunch of Division I schools that I can remember. Obviously, the more competition you play, the better you're going to get, but still, it's a bit demoralizing to lose, especially by a lot at home. Can you take us through one of those losses in description?
Yeah, we played the Olentangies, and they're very good. We played two of them. And we knew going in, like, we always want to have like a good mindset going in, but we knew they were going to be good.
Right.
So, I mean, after that, we just went back to the drawing board and just tried to gather ourselves back up and get that confidence we had before we had that.
There's always one team, it seems like, whether it's in girls or boys. For the guys, it's like Bay Village. They're always there. They're always fighting. Is there a girls team in comparison to Bay Village, Addie?
I would say the Olentangies are big for us if they're on our schedule.
You know, what we would look like for the season. Sometimes there's just that strategic part to it, which, going back to Coach Buck Morton, I mean, he knows strategy more than any coach I think I've ever met. He's a state champion in basketball, 89 and 91, so he knows what it takes. And you mentioned like the pep talks he gives it, you know, before the game and at halftime. Take me through, I guess, what he says in some of those pre or mid-game huddles.
He usually just he tells us just have confidence in ourselves. We've been working for this all season, and we know we're capable of it. And it's just the fact that we have to have confidence going into it. We can't we gotta put effort in and can't let each other down.
He'll definitely call us out too. Like if he sees something that's not working or something we're not doing, it will be fixed when you go back on the field.
Yeah.
So he's not gonna let a mistake slide. Like he will make sure you know what you're doing.
That's the best way to coach, is being as transparent as possible. And I mean, obviously, having the same coach your entire high school career, you build a relationship with him. Do you even consider him a coach or more as a friend at this point, honestly?
On the field, definitely coach. But if I see him in public, I will make jokes with him, and we'll have a good laugh.
Absolutely. Anything following up on it?
I mean, yeah, kind of carrying on Coach Morton. His daughter's on the team, obviously, another senior. Kind of talk about some of the other seniors that'll have a big impact for you guys.
I think Allie Parker this year had a huge impact last year, definitely going to have a huge impact this year. Lost some senior midfielders last year, so I think this is really going to be the perfect chance for her to step up and really show how important her role is to the team.
Yeah, and you guys lost your goalie last year, and I think that's probably the biggest position in soccer, if I'd had to say. So kind of talk about that, and I know there's probably 2 or 3 people battling for that position, so kind of talk about how that's going for you guys.
Yeah, they're all doing good. I mean, you'll see it in practice. They're definitely putting in the effort, putting in the work. But we have Lydia. She is a senior. She's been doing pretty good. So we'll see how that goes and see what will happen.
Yeah, I know, Austin, you guys have a good goalie in Nolan Stewart, but what do you guys have to say about the girls' battle for goalie?
I mean, it's going to be interesting. I'm pretty sure Lydia will have that solidified pretty solidly. I'm not sure how the girls look in terms of goalkeeper-wise, but suddenly, like, for the guys, we're starting to lack that position. Like, I mean, if no one doesn't stop going to the gym, we're going to lose our goalkeeper at this point. It's pretty much at that point. But I think it is probably the hardest position in all of sports. There's more pressure in that position than I think any other position anywhere. Take that from a former goalkeeper that stopped playing that position because of the pressure. It's not a fun place to be, that's for sure. It's one of those things where you're expected to do so much, and one mistake cannot just cost the game, but the entire season in certain moments. So, especially in a situation like a penalty shootout, I mean, you guys mentioned that winning that sectional final game. I was there in person, and I was visibly stressed. I wasn't even playing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can you guys just kind of take us through, I guess, kick by kick? Because I know a couple of you took those penalties. Just explain your thought process while you were up there at the spot.
Yeah.
Well, once we found out we were going into the kicks, our coach Roxanne Dreschler, she was at practice that week because Coach Morton was with his daughter in Texas. So we had been practicing them just in case. You know, we were like, we don't really need this, but we'll do it just in case. So she had seen us taking our kicks, and she is the one that picked the order for us to go in. I don't remember the exact order.
I went first.
I know.
that.
Okay, so McKenna
I think
kicked.
Allie
Yeah,
was second.
then
There was
Allie
Allie
went,
Parker, Olivia Workman,
Macy.
Chambers, and then
and then
I
it
was
was you.
supposed to be the 5th kicker. So I guess you're the only one here that actually kicked. So
I
if you wanna
mean,
talk about that.
I was so nervous. I started crying before even the kick happened.
Oh, I was
but-
crying and I didn't even kick.
The relief you must have felt.
Oh,
that
it
final
was
one
so.
probably
Oh my
overwhelming.
goodness.
Yeah, but I mean, Rox, she got us in line. She was like, "You've done this at practice. You gotta breathe before the kick, and it will be fine." Like, it's like second nature doing it.
Yeah, I think there's more pressure on the kicker than the keeper, 100%, because the conversion rate might not seem as high for something like that, but as the kicker, you're expected to put the ball in the net, especially with a penalty. But, I mean, at some point, somebody's got to miss in order for somebody to win. So just that thought process of, like, the next man up, because I know Allie probably felt terrible after missing that
Yeah.
one. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
unlucky. I'm pretty sure it hit, like, crossbar or something like that. But, so the next person just had to stand up and make a play, and obviously Molly did an excellent job in goal, made a couple of
Yeah.
big-time saves, and that was definitely one of the more important reasons why you guys ended up winning that game. But how do you transition from a win like that, and the very next day you go right back to practice and pretend that it's just another win, you have to move on immediately?
Well, while it's not like easy to do that, obviously you want to be excited and you want to celebrate. That's not you know there's another game coming. So while you do have the mentality of like, wow, that was really great, we just won in this amazing game, you know you have to keep going, and that's not the only win you can have. That win's not going to matter if you don't win the next game. So I think that was part of the mentality for the going into Clear Fork.
Yeah, it's just like the celebration factor. You know, you don't want to celebrate too much, job's not finished kind of mentality, but you guys probably felt even better after that district final victory, and that went to
Oh, yeah.
overtime. So you guys had stress in the sectional finals and the district finals. I guess take us through that overtime period and what you guys were thinking. I guess starting with Olivia.
Well, I was kind of hurt, so it was going to be a really stressful like play because he wanted me to start, so I was scared. But like we were all, were you guys on?
Yeah.
We were all on the field, so we obviously like knew what we had to do, but it was really scary.
McKenna, anything at the attacking spot?
I feel like I was just trying to like get it close to the goal and try to get something out of it. Use my other forward, Jocelyn, or whoever was up there at the time, And it was just like we were putting all our effort we had left in us to try to win.
And then Addie, as the last defender, that's probably the second scariest place to be in overtime because once it gets past you, there's one more person, and the ball's in the back of the net. Take me through what you were thinking in overtime.
So by that time, I was already pretty tired. It was a hot day in the middle of the afternoon. It wasn't the first time we had played them, so we knew what they were going to do. We know who their people are that they like to go to. So just making sure we had enough people to keep them marked and get them shut down the entire time, that was super important. By that time, I think I was crying during that game too because I was so stressed out. Apparently I cry a lot. But yeah, just being in that last moment there, the finish, I didn't even think the final goal went in. Again, I was crying. I didn't really know what was going on. I couldn't see that far in front of me, but a huge relief when we finally secured the win.
Absolutely. Levi, got anything to add on to that?
Yeah, I mean, pressure obviously is one of the biggest things in sports, like you guys know. Me personally, I've never had the experience of being in a district final. Maybe this year, but we'll see. But yeah, kind of changing the table a little bit. Spring sports, obviously. Addie, like we were talking about earlier, All Ohio in soccer. McKenna, All Ohio in track this year. Kind of talk to me about your successful track season this year.
It was a fun year. So we did get 6th in the state for our relay. So that was really fun. It was really surreal running at Jesse Owens. Like there's so many people there. It was just really fun. I mean, obviously there's a lot of pressure because you want to do well, and like with relays, it's one handoff and you're done. So, but it was really fun.
Yeah, students, kind of talk to me about how the spring track season kind of moves you guys forward into the soccer season. I know like conditioning must be easier probably for you guys because you've been running all spring. Like, kind of talk to me about that.
Well, I feel like most people think like, oh my gosh, you ran track, like you're gonna be so fast, like you're in shape. But it's like a different kind of running. I feel like, because like we're sprinting, we're not like soccer is endurance. Like you have to have like so much endurance. But so it's definitely like a transition, but it's pretty easy to transition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, All Ohio, that's a great like thing to say. I mean, you guys are going to be on the wall someday at the gym. So yeah, kind of talk to me about coming back maybe like in the future and seeing your like face up there on the wall. How does that feel?
Well, when I was in like my freshman year in the old school, I would like walk by all the pictures and I was like, why are these people on the wall? Like, what did they even? It wasn't probably until like my sophomore or junior year that I even realized like what they were there for, and I didn't even know what like being All Ohio was.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a big like when I found out I got that, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'll be up there then. But I never really thought about it before I had won it.
Yeah, like when me and Austin, like we've been to several basketball games, looking up there, seeing the likes of Kate Stover, Joey Zahn, like you're going to be an inspiration to kids like in the future. So yeah, that's kind of awesome.
I agree with that, actually. Speaking of inspiring the kids, coming up is the kids camp.
Oh yeah.
Always a hassle. I guess from a high schooler's perspective, obviously trying to keep the kids in order because it is like a farm trying to keep chickens in line or something like that. It's not fun. How are you going to take something as simple as a youth camp and try to like establish the future generations of the Lex Lady Soccer program?
Well, I mean, those kids are going to be in high school one day, and if they see us, like, helping them and, like, our fun, like, personalities and, like, just our team aspect, they'll want to do it, too, when they get in high school. So, I mean, it's just, like, the future generations will be coming up, and, yeah.
Did any of you actually do the youth camp or whatever when you were younger?
I didn't.
I didn't go to Lexington, so I didn't.
That's understandable, I suppose. But I mean, like you said, I know a lot of people from the boys team. They went to that a lot, as much as they could or whatever. It's nothing crazy vigorous or anything, but it's one of those things just to get a peek of, you know, maybe if you're there as a 6th grader looking at freshman, like you're going to be teammates with that person at some point. It's hard to believe, but that's the situation I go through. I mean, even some of the guys we have in, you know, with us this year, they were in youth camp when I was a freshman. It's pretty bizarre to think about. Going back to, I guess, the regular season part of the aspect, you guys all play different positions. What would you say is the most important part, starting with Addie, like as a defender? What is the biggest skill that you need?
For me, I think it would be like vision and being able to see like where is this person going to go with the ball? If I were to get the ball here, where am I going to go with it next? I feel like I am like a big like I want to talk to people and like tell them like, hey, this is what like you have a person coming, or hey, you need to do this. And I don't mean to come off like bossy, but I feel like me being like the furthest back, I can see a lot of the things that like McKenna can't see when she's all the way up top.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I can tell her where to move in time, like then we can get the ball to her and potentially have a goal scoring chance.
And then McKenna up top, honestly, as a track sprinter, it probably helps to have those extra strides up there. I mean,
Yeah.
you're blazing fast. You beat defenders pretty easily. So I'd imagine speed is probably not something you have to worry about up top. But I guess take me through the cycle of what you go through every time you receive the ball up top. What do you go through in your head?
Well, I usually look around, like I see if like my other forwards up there, because obviously like passing is important. You want to find feet and like try to create the best opportunity, but also scoring is a big thing too, because I'm the last like person up top. So obviously I'm the one scoring too, and whoever's with me up top. So finishing is a very important thing.
And then Olivia, you mentioned being in shape and endurance. Do you think that you are like in shape at this point in the season? Like it's kind of getting closer and closer to Ontario. There's no right or wrong answer. I myself am very out of shape. I will admit it. But playing on the outside, that requires the most endurance out of any position on the field, which once again is why I stopped playing there. I take the easy way out of everything. I guess take me through the training that you have to go through to just stay in shape and make sure that you're always in the game.
Yeah, definitely running like a lot of miles like outside of soccer helps because obviously I'm like going up and back and all that stuff. So yeah, just running and like having speed too as well, so you can get up. But yeah.
Absolutely. Levi, got anything to add on to that?
Yeah, Mr. Morton, if you're watching this, make them run more at practice. They're clearly not in shape,
Oh my god.
so make them run more. But yeah, like you said, endurance is key. But yeah, you guys are looking for a successful season. Obviously, senior year. How's it kind of feel to? This could potentially be your guys' last season of ever playing soccer. So kind of talk to me about that.
For me, I don't think it's set in that we're like seniors yet. I feel like Ontario is gonna be like the real like. This is it. Like this is this is like the last time I'll ever play them in like a regular season game. Hopefully we make it to tournaments again this year. But I feel like that's when it'll really like senior night. I feel like that'll be a big like that'll be a big hit.
Yeah, but can I kind of add on to what Addie said about being a senior this year?
Yeah, like we got our senior banners the other night, and it's like so surreal. Like you never thought it would come so fast. Like I was just a freshman. Like feels like yesterday, but it's here now. So.
Yeah. And I know everybody says like, oh, it goes so fast, but you don't really realize that until it comes. So like, it's crazy. Like senior year is going to be wild. It's going to go so fast, but hopefully you guys have a successful season. Like, kind of talk to me about the goals of you guys. Obviously winning a conference. Like, what are some other goals?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever won a conference either while we were playing. So I feel like that is a big, I mean, at least for me, I would like to win the conference, hopefully win the district again. But yeah, those are my, like, I guess near goals for the team.
I would say the same.
Yeah, definitely conference because that's it's all like the teams we usually play. It's like our rivals. It's what we want to win.
Yeah.
And obviously, maybe a little state title run. Maybe.
Maybe.
It would be truly something to have multiple charter buses for the boys and the girls going to state at the same time. But obviously, you guys made it to a place you haven't been to in a long time, a regional semifinal. Now that you guys have been at that big of a stage and really felt the pressure, if you guys happen to make it there next year, do you feel like you're going to be more prepared and settle in easier at it?
I think we will 100%. Last time we were there, it didn't, like, I guess I wasn't taking it like seriously enough. Like to me, I was trying to think of it as like just a regular game, maybe take some pressure off myself. But I feel like I need that pressure just to make sure that I'm in the right mindset and to make sure that I know what I'm about to do and how important it is for not only me to do well, but for me to help my team do well.
And I really think it starts in that midfield. The midfield kind of sets the tone for the entire game. Because if you're tired in the midfield, it is very hard to get out of the back of the field and to transition up to offense. So I guess Copley, that's the guy, that's the team that you guys ran into last year. Their midfield was extremely strong. So you guys have to slow that down this year. What kind of strategies, McKenna, do you think you guys will have to establish in order to get that done?
Definitely our center mids, just working front and back, like, but they already do that, so that will really help. And then using our outsides will help, like not going straight through the middle, because that's where they're strongest at. So using our outsides will be really important.
It can be a matter of like endurance or foot skills or really just anything. A lot of times it's just as simple as team chemistry. They said a lot about our boys program. We don't seem like we're anything special at practice, especially. We really don't get much done, like, productively. But when we step on that field, it's just a different mindset that we transition into. And Olivia, do you guys kind of have that same thing on the ladies squad?
Yeah, I definitely feel like practice and games are totally different for us. Like practice, like we're all like goofy and stuff, and then like games we're like really like focused.
That is definitely reflective on our practices. I'm not gonna lie. If the OH report ends up coming to our practices again this year, they're gonna be scratching their head as to like, how does this team consistently go to regionals? Yeah, it doesn't make sense a lot of times, but it's definitely inexperience. You just kind of have to to be along for the ride, and now that we're, I guess, sailing the ship as seniors, it is such a different feeling. I mean, obviously we got cheated out of a lot of our freshman year with the COVID stuff, limited fans, you know, the travel was a lot different. So half the time you couldn't even go to the varsities game to watch them play. I guess starting with your guys' freshman season, mentally, how did you guys, I guess, mature through your high school years?
Well, for me, I played half of my season on JV and then I finished it on varsity. So that was something that was really different for me. Like, all my friends were on JV. I was the only one there. So for me, it was kind of like an odd, like, shock because not only, like, could I not see my friends at the games, like, I was all by myself wearing, like, a mask all alone on my bus seat. So that was something that really, I think, impacted my high school, like, career, I guess. But now I'm glad that, like, our freshmen, like, currently can do whatever, like, not whatever they want, but, like, they can come to the games, they can sit with whoever they want, they don't have to wear the mask the whole time. So I feel like that'll definitely be better for them than it was for us.
I feel like the transition from JV to varsity is always difficult. You go from usually being at the top, leading your team, to all of a sudden having to go back down to, like, the bottom of the food chain, just kind of settle in and get a feel for, like, what is right and what is wrong on the varsity squad. So, like, McKenna, can you take me through what that transition was like for you?
Yeah, so I started JV. I was on JV my freshman year, and then I went to varsity my sophomore year. And I remember I was so scared to play with the seniors because I was like, I didn't want to mess up in front of them because that's like what they based me off of, like how I play and stuff. But I mean, it ended up halfway through the season they finally kind of like accepted us, and we started playing more together.
I have a feeling the girls' team probably accepts a little bit quicker than the guys' team.
Yeah.
It's probably one of those insecurity things. But Olivia, how did you settle in as well?
Well, sophomore year at the end of the year, I like swung for like tournaments and stuff, and I obviously didn't play a lot. But then like starting like junior year, like I started every game, so it was like obviously a different like transition, but it was easy to like get to.
And then I'd imagine the speed of play is so different from JV to varsity. Obviously, I played JV the first 2 seasons. I also swung sophomore year for tournament time, but it was just incredible how much quicker the ball moves, and your head has to be on a swivel twice as fast as JV. I guess kind of describe how that felt, going from being, you know, normal, going half speed, and all of a sudden, now that you're going full speed, you have to normalize that in your head as being, you know, up to the ball.
Well, yeah, I feel like as, like, freshmen and sophomores, you're, like, 14, 15 years old, and, like, you're playing with people that are, like, your age and your size, but being, like, a sophomore in varsity, you're, like, 15 playing these 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
So it's so, like, intimidating to have these people that are 2 times your size, and you just have to take the ball away from them. Like, that was one thing that was for me, because I was still playing defense then. So having to, like, stop their biggest attackers that, like, I watched play on varsity when I was younger was a really big, like, it was scary for me at first, for sure.
Levi, you got anything to add on that? In terms of, like, baseball comparison, you gone through anything similar?
Yeah, I mean, the jump from JV to varsity on baseball, I mean, the pitching was, like, crazy. Like, you go from facing, like, no offense to any JV pitchers out there, but, like, you're not good. Like, you throw, like, they don't throw as fast as varsity players. And, I mean, like, I got to play with Cole Poly for a year. Like, watching him, like, throw upper 80s to 90s, and then, like, watching JV pitchers throw, like, low 70s, it's crazy. And, like, I'm grateful to be in, like, being able to play with those seniors that kind of I looked up to as, like a role model in a sense. And obviously you guys did the same. Like, kind of talk to me about, like, your underclassmen years, like, who you looked up to, and, like, kind of now about who, like, you're kind of, like, mentoring on your team.
Well, I remember being a sophomore, we had, like, Lauren Alexander's class, so, like, Lauren, Lexi, Emma, those girls, we really looked up to them because they helped us really, like, get into, like, the groove that varsity is. And I feel like now it's like the underclassmen, we have a couple sophomores are in varsity, or maybe we'll be on varsity, but so like it's just like kind of like taking them under our wings and helping them grow.
I definitely looked up to Emma Schaefer because I feel like she was the one that played like most similarly to like my position and how I played. But I feel like mentor-wise for us, I feel like we all try to like instruct the freshmen and just try and help them as much as we can. I don't think there's one that like one person helps more than the other. I feel like we just all try and be really like welcoming and like make sure that they know like we like them and we're not like when we correct them we're not mad at them. We're just trying to improve them for like in a potential game.
Yeah, and I mean like we've seen in the news recently, Austin, Northwestern's whole thing. Like you don't really want to like go off and be all like a jerk to them, but like there's kind of like this tough love that you have to give them when they mess up. Like obviously you have like a set mentality for the program, like you want them to follow that obviously, and kind of talk to me about your mentality for the program, like from a standpoint that Coach Morton gives you and other players that you followed.
Well, I think for the program, definitely we've set higher expectations for ourselves than we've ever had before. So that's something that we're really going to have to work on. But overall, like, I feel like our team is like a one big family. Like, we're all always together. Like, the seniors especially really hang out a lot. And you can see it in the other grades, too.
Yeah.
So I feel like just keeping, like, obviously the tough love standpoint, but also knowing, like, you can be yourself around us and, like, be comfortable because we're all like that around each other all the time.
Yeah. And Austin, yeah, I know you guys have a big like mindset on the boys program. Like, kind of talk to me. I know you guys have been successful year after year. Like, how has that carried on to you guys?
Really, it's setting the tone from years past. I mean, even when I was in 8th grade, they went to the state semifinal, had a halftime lead. We're a couple of minutes away from ended up heading to the state final, but since that year, even some of those guys came back and ended up playing with us in the off season, and they make us work hard. And there's certain seniors my freshman year that I respect a lot, because the narrative used to be to take it easy on these guys. They're just freshmen. The senior class my freshman year did not do that whatsoever. I mean, they would push you like you were a senior, which was necessary because, you know, if you want to be treated like an adult, you're going to be disciplined like an adult. That's it's just the mindset for the program. But, I mean, we're a consistent regional team. Every now and then we'll dabble in state, but we're looking to take that step further this year. I mean, we only graduated 4 or 5 seniors last year, and respectfully, most of which are replaceable, other than Alan Jefferson up top.
Yeah.
But we've got guys that can carry the torch, and that was the big thing my sophomore year. We ended up losing the state semifinal. Just the passing of the torch. It wasn't easy losing 9 seniors that year. But, you know, the next guys, they stepped up, and they got the job done, and I think that's the importance of each and every program, and we're going to have some of the captains for the boys team on here on Monday to talk about that as well, more in depth. But one last question for you ladies. Any personal goals this season, whether it's like a stat or maybe just a mental thing, starting with Addie?
I would like to be captain again and second team on Ohio last year, so I'm hoping to maybe get first team this year. And, like, team goal-wise, I definitely want to win the conference.
Yeah, definitely conference as a team. Personally, I battled a lot of injuries like preseason and going into like beginning of the season, so keep injury free and just like build my confidence because that's going to be most important.
Yeah, definitely confidence, but also like goal scoring. We were really like short on that last year, so making sure that we that I can help like add to that, and then just like getting farther in the tournaments would be really nice. But.
Absolutely. Well, we got through a ton of questions actually.
We did, yeah.
Straight off the head.
Yeah.
But Addie McKenna and Olivia, really do appreciate you guys being on here with us, and that's going to wrap up episode number 2 of the Voice of the Village podcast. Really good talk going on here. Join us here next week or the week after. We're going to have the boys team on here very, very soon, talking about something very similar. But we do appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope to see you in episode 3 as well. This is Austin Fisher and Levi Davis signing off for the Voice of the Village.